Hello everyone, and welcome back to Fate Stay Night. Previously, Excalibur! And then Ryder and her pet Pegasus got vaporized. This time, we're already facing a lot of choices. Let me pull up the load screen to show you what I mean. So, there was... wait. There it is. So there was this choice where we could just stand around and see what would happen, and that resulted in Shirou arriving to the rooftop of the skyscraper late, finding Saber, and taking her back home, where Rin was able to take a look at Saber and see if she was okay. Now, that's technically the same result. It looks like, by all appearances, Saber did unleash her noble phantasm and did defeat Ryder even still, but in that timeline, Shirou would not learn Saber's identity. And, of course, Shinji, who would be on the rooftop still, would probably just escape as well. But then we backed out and we went and followed Saber immediately, and that resulted in the kick-ass scene of Saber unleashing her noble phantasm. And then we got faced with a choice. Either we run to Saber, who collapsed of exhaustion, or we could follow Shinji, who was screaming in fear at the sight of Ryder being defeated and fleeing. So, that's a curious choice. Let's catch up here. So, Saber is obviously going to be fine, I guess. Like, Ryder, even if she's not dead, which she likely is, probably because Shinji was saying that his command spell was burning up or whatever. But there's no threat to Saber. She'd just lie there while Shirou would go chase Shinji. So I have to wonder, what could be the drawback to trying to follow Shinji? Like, maybe this is just a case where they both have the same result. It's just that choosing to run to Saber would give you another point for the relationship bar, but we'll see. So for now, let's follow Shinji. Shinji comes first. If Saber defeated Ryder, I have to catch Shinji and have him relinquish his status as a master. High-pitched footsteps echo in the dark. Mato Shinji flees through the dark hallways. Damn! What's with that woman? How can something so ridiculous happen? Ryder's noble phantasm is the strongest, so why does she have to lose? She's just Saber, so why does she have such a noble phantasm? It's unfair, it's unfair, it's unfair! Rolling down the stairs, crashing into the wall, crawling on the ground, Mato Shinji heads for ground level. In his mind, the image of the light that slashed Ryder will not fade. Exactly as he says, that noble phantasm is an abnormal existence. The holy sword that appears divine to its allies looks like a devil's creation from an opposing viewpoint. Oh, that's cool. So he runs through the darkness. That light will come if he stops. He will vanish without a trace if he turns around. There's no time to pause. He puts more weight on his life than on the fact that he has lost his servant, or the fact that he isn't a master anymore. Okay, so this is like narration from like an omniscient narrator point of view. I guess that confirms it. Ryder is dead. Really? Damn. What was that about her noble phantasm being invincible? That woman, all talk. How could she trick me? You were defeated because you were too confident, you idiot. But those were Mato Shinji's orders. Not to kill them quickly. Ignoring Ryder's advice that they should kill them with one blow if they use the Noble Phantasm, he chose to corner Saber. Another tumble. Wow, he's gonna be black and blue before Shirou reaches him. Even though he's almost out of this darkness, he hits a huge wall. Damn, don't put a wall somewhere like this. He punches it in anger. Huh? An unlikely sound is made. Mato Shinji looks at what he thought was a wall, and at his arm, bent up like a puzzle ring, and... Did he just punch something so hard he broke his own arm? I can't tell if that makes him strong or weak. Even forgets to scream because of fear. I didn't think this would ever happen, but I'm actually happy to see Ilya. We know exactly how sick and twisted this freak of a child is, and the thought of her doing such horrible things to Shinji makes me happy inside. So let's read on. You can't do that, Mr. Megid of Makiri. There's no running away for a loser. Megid of Makiri? Makiri? What does that mean? Laughter fills the air. In the tense darkness, the silver hair of a white girl appears. The moment of recognition. What was Shinji about to say? As in master? A master? Or something else? The instant he realizes what's in front of him, Mato Shinji is terminated. Yay! Oh no, now Shirou's gonna... Oh, jeez, oh no. I run through the dark hallway. I can't see, but I'm able to follow Shinji. Because there's no other sounds. Shinji's footsteps echo through the hallway, so it's easy to follow him. His footsteps stopped? It's a sudden change. The sound I was hearing was nearby, and there's still some distance to the elevator. As far as I remember, there's no reason for Shinji to stop in the middle of the hallway. Shinji? I walk quietly and advance with caution. I see the change quickly. The spot where Shinji's footsteps died. In the hallway that was empty on my way to the rooftop, there is a red puddle. Oh, I'm so happy. I mean, Shirou's probably gonna die, but my mind freezes. Before I can think about what happened here, my body reacts. I can't be here. My senses, trained by Saber, are telling me to go back to the rooftop as fast as possible if I value my life. Whoa. Huh. Okay. Sorry I'm late. Are you alright, Saber? Controlling my nausea, I run towards Saber. Huh? Saber doesn't look well at all. She has sweat on her brow, and her breathing is weak yet irregular, as if she has a fever. No way. Hey, Saber, what's wrong? I call out to her timidly, but she doesn't answer. She's unconscious. Saber? I touch her forehead. Ow! I automatically pull my hand back. It's unusually hot. If this is a fever, she's over 40 degrees. Saber, hey, are you all right? Even when I call out to her, her only reply is heavy breathing. I don't know what the hell's going on. I don't know, but we can't just stay here like this. I'm going to take you home. If you want to object, do it later. I pick Saber up. She's light. She was light before, but she's lighter now. No, more than that, she's warm. She's alive. Saber is still Saber. I'm angry at myself for hesitating. Damn it. So what if she's a hero? No matter who Saber is, she's here right now and she's warm. How stupid of me to think there's a wall between us in spite of that. I'm going home right away. Stay still until then, Saber. I run, still holding Saber in my arms. There is no feeling of victory. All I feel is Saber in my arms, breathing painfully. Well... Okay. Let me read this text here and see if it's the same as what we saw earlier. I'm done. I let her sleep in the Japanese-style room, but I don't think she'll wake up anytime soon. Yeah, this is the same. I remember that phrasing. Okay, so... So looking at the loads again, with this choice here, we could get to this same exact point, but it would have Shirou not know Saber's identity. That's a terrifying thing, because that feels like a choice that would have no immediate outcome. It would just go on for who knows how long. And I'm not sure how to pick it. Like, And then, if we reloaded and went to Saber immediately, we probably wouldn't get that perspective of seeing Shinji meeting his grisly, very, very bloody end. But he'd still die. It's just that Shirou wouldn't confirm it. So yeah, I'm gonna reload. I'm actually gonna check the relationship chart. Okay, Saber is at 3 full pips. Let's see what happens if we reload and choose to go to her immediately. Run to Saber right away. I can't leave Saber alone. Ryder is gone, and the book that holds Shinji's command spells has burned. Shinji doesn't have a servant anymore, and he has lost his command spells as well. I can call the match settled. Wait, so is that like confirmation that Shinji did have his command spells stored in a book? And how would Shirou know that? Oh, okay, was this just something I'm forgetting from like their initial conversation inside the Matou Manor when Shinji got Shirou to come with him, ditching school? So the priority right now is Saber. Saber! I run to her. The golden sword isn't in her hands anymore. It has disappeared and only Saber herself remains, but... Huh? Saber doesn't look well at all. She has sweat on her brow, and her breathing is weak yet irregular, as if she has a fever. No way. Hey, Saber, what's wrong? I call out to her timidly, but she doesn't answer. Okay, this is looking like the exact same text. Yeah, let's just skip to Rin. We'll just skip to Rin. And we'll check the relationship chart. Yeah, okay. I don't know why it would have even increased in the first place because she's unconscious, but... Oh, it went to 4 full bars. Yeah, sorry, but no, I'm trying to angle for Sakura here. Sorry, Saber, maybe in another universe. Let's reload. Well, that puts us in a little predicament. Now we have to choose whether to continue on in this timeline where Shirou knows about Excalibur, or try and proceed in the timeline where he's completely ignorant as to who Saber is. I think I'm just going to continue on from here, because this feels like the most natural thing. But I don't know, man. Yeah, we'll just continue on from here. Okay, finally. Sorry. You really helped me out. There's nothing I could have done to treat Saber. Well, I just removed her armor and helped her relax, so you don't need to thank me. Saber won't get well, and I haven't done anything. But still, having Tosaka around helped. She was the one that yelled at me when I came home in a panic about what to do. She worked out Saber's situation and advised me to take her armor off and let her sleep. It's been an hour since then. Somehow, communicating with the unconscious Saber, Tosaka took her armor off. So, what happened? I thought you went out looking for Shinji, and Saber was like that. I can tell that something happened, but can you explain the details? I hesitate. Saber's noble phantasm. I should avoid revealing her true name. It's not something I can reveal by my judgment alone. Ryder was defeated. Shinji retired, losing his command spell, but Saber used her noble phantasm and collapsed after using it. Saber's noble phantasm, huh? Tosaka falls into a meaningful silence. She's Tosaka, so she should be able to tell that it was no ordinary matter. Well, I won't ask you for details. You guys are in no condition for that sort of a thing. What? What do you mean we're in no condition? It's just like I said. You should know vaguely by now that Saber will disappear like this. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. What? Calmly, Tosaka mentions the result I have avoided about thinking about. Disappear? You mean Saber will disappear? Of course. Saber's magical energy is almost empty. I don't know what kind of a noble phantasm Saber used, but it must have consumed a lot of magical energy. Saber has used up most of the magical energy in her. She's in pain because she's trying to keep herself from disappearing. She's going to disappear because she doesn't have any magical energy? Are you saying that she's going to disappear even though she wasn't injured? Yes, depletion of magical energy is a more serious problem than external damage for a servant. It's the magical energy that gives the spiritual servant's form. She will just disappear if it runs out. Well, masters transmit their magical energy to their servants, so that doesn't happen, but you can't do that, right? So Saber has to fight using her own magical energy. It's over once that runs out. I told you this right at the beginning. That's certainly what Saber told me. But she was fine until now. Saber said she'll be alright if she slept. That was because Saber's magical energy capacity was extraordinary. Yeah, Saber certainly has some magical energy left in her. I think she should be able to recover enough magical energy to preserve herself. But that's it. Saber will end up fighting in the situation she's in right now. It would be absurd to use the noble phantasm that put her in this state to begin with. Saber will definitely disappear if she uses it again. She'll disappear if she uses her noble phantasm again? No, first of all, I can't let her fight in this state. I don't want to see her slumped over in pain again. Do you understand now? There are only two ways to heal a servant who ran out of magical energy. To have the master replenish the magical energy, or to have the servant collect magical energy herself. To have a servant collect magical energy herself. That would mean killing innocent people like Ryder did. That's impossible. Saber won't do that. She said herself that she wouldn't do such a thing. I would think so. Saber would probably choose to disappear if she had to sacrifice innocent people. So there's only one other possibility. If you don't want Saber to disappear, you'll have to offer her your magical energy. That's something I would have done already if I could. But I don't know any way to give Saber magical energy. Unfortunately, I can't do everything like you can. Of course. We wouldn't make it even if I taught you how to share magical energy. It would take you about a year to learn since you're not suitable as a magus, and you wouldn't be able to use it even if you learned it. Well, shit. Well, a path should have been connected at the summoning, so there might be other measures. Tosaka ponders. But it's only for a moment. Tosaka looks at me with an expression suppressing her emotions. Uh-oh. Look, if you want to save Saber, all you can do is to make her attack people and absorb their souls. I think you already know this. Jeez, that's cold. That's the most realistic measure. But that means Saber will, of course, object to it. But if you let things be, Saber will disappear and you will be targeted by the other masters. Saber will disappear? I can't even imagine such a thing. I still feel her body heat in my hands, which were carrying her. Then there's only one answer. Use your command spell, Emiya-kun. You should be able to avoid the worst-case scenario with that. Ugh. Saber would never forgive Shirou for that. Never. That means ordering Saber to kill innocent people. I can't say anything. I resent what Tosaka is saying, but at the same time, another part of me recognizes that this is the only solution. I'll let you decide. Saber will calm down if she sleeps, but her limit is still near. If you're going to make a decision, make one by the next time we get attacked. Tosaka leaves the living room. I can't even look up. I can only listen to Tosaka's departing footsteps. Yeesh. Ugh. Well, Dragon Slay. Okay. Still on the Fate route. That's good. Arturia. The girl who had just finished her rite of passage would be known by that name from that day on. It was a time of chaos and war. It began with the demise of an empire. An empire believed to be indestructible was only awaiting its destruction at the hands of invading barbarians. To prepare for the war against these barbarians, the empire deprived this island country of any military forces. That was the beginning. Once her country lost the empire's protection, it could not escape becoming independent, and it broke into smaller countries in no time. The barbarian invasions, self-destructive strife between clans, a long period of war that would later be called the Dark Ages. She was born into this period as the heir to the throne. It was a long period of chaos. The king believed the Magus' prophecy and yearned for the birth of his appointed successor. But the child that was born was not the one the king desired. The child was not a boy. Even if the child was fated to become a king, he could not make a child that was not a boy his successor. The girl was entrusted to the king's vassals and was raised as a child of a mere knight. The king fell into despair, but the Magus was delighted. The sex of the one who would become king had never mattered. He was confident that the fact of the girl being separated from the castle until the day of the prophecy was proof that she would become king. The girl grew up as the successor under the simple and wise old knight. The old knight did not really believe the Magus' prophecy. He just felt the same air from the girl as he did from his king, so he felt that he must raise her as a knight, and he wished her to grow. But the knight did not even have to wish for such a thing, as the girl trained day after day to become stronger than anyone. If only a king can save a ruined country headed for death. The girl swore to bear a sword for that reason alone, without ever being told so. So, the day of the prophecy arrived. Knights and lords from around the country gathered to be selected as the king. Every one of them expected the selection to be through jousting, if the most superior one was to become a king. But the only thing prepared at the place of selection was a naked sword stuck in a stone. On the hilt of the sword was a golden inscription. Whosoever pulleth out this sword of this stone is rightwise king born of England. Many knights grabbed the sword, following that command. But no one was able to pull the sword out, and the knights began the expected method of selection by jousting. Ooh. As the girl was only an apprentice, she was not qualified to joust. The girl neared the deserted stone of selection and reached out for the sword without hesitation. No, you should think things through before you take that. When she turned around, before her was the most feared Magus in the country. The Magus said, that she would no longer be human once she took a hold of the sword. The girl only responded with a nod. Becoming a king means no longer being human. She was prepared for that ever since she was born. In short, a king is someone who kills everyone to protect everyone. The young girl thought about it every night and shuddered until morning came. No day passed that she did not fear that fact. But the girl said that it would end this day. The sword was pulled out as if it were only natural to do so, and the place was filled with light. In that instant, she became something not human. The king's gender does not matter. No one will care about the king's appearance or even notice it if the king acts like a king. Even if anybody noticed that the king was female, there would be no problem if she was a good king. Perhaps because of the sword's magic, the girl's growth stopped at that time as well. Huh. Many knights feared it as ominous, but most of them praised their master's immortality as divine. And thus, the time of the king who would become a legend started. The battles of the new king were indeed the acts of a god of war. The king always led from the front. No enemies could stand in her way. Arturia, the god of war. There was no defeat for a body admired as a dragon in human form. Yeah, so this is why I couldn't really say that Saber was King Arthur, because she wasn't King Arthur, she was King Arturia. Or, as the modern translations of Fate Stay Night would have you believe, King Altria? Yeah, apparently, everyone hates that Altria is the official name, and everyone just sticks with Arturia, which I do think is a lot cooler, and it's closer to Arthur, you know? But, yeah, so I knew about the whole King Arthur, Excalibur, Arturia, Altria thing from the very beginning here, so I'm glad it's all out in the open now. I guess there's one other thing about Fate lore that I know that might come up in this flashback, so I'll just continue on. For 10 years and 12 battles, she knew only victory. Those were the days she ran through as the king. She never turned back and was never disgraced. She was raised as a king and fulfilled her obligations as the king. Is that why I saw such a figure? Her soul must still be on the battlefield. Before daybreak, resting her body in the wind under the indigo blue sky, she just gazes into the distance. The sky is high, and the clouds are flowing fast. Under the clear air, she is looking at the great army she must face with her sword in hand. That figure is burned in and will not go away. She and her sword are one. The sword from the stone that chose the king. I think the brilliance of the sword that selected her fate is also her brilliance. But I wonder in the dream. Okay, so this is Shirou having a dream. Okay. That sword is different from the one she had. It is similar, but different. The one she used last night is different from this sword. So, how did she lose such a fine sword? And it's morning. Okay. So, So I guess I don't know how much of this is a spoiler or not. I don't know if it's even like a thing that was written for this original visual novel, or if it came up in like future content for the Fate franchise, but okay, I'm just gonna say it. I have no way of warning what this could be, but it is something about Saber's past, well, Arturia's life. I know that Merlin gave her a penis. Not like gave her his. Just no. He cast a spell, and then Saber grew one. Yeah, that's just something I've heard. I don't even actually know if it's 100% true. I just know it's a thing. Okay, like no judgment, of course, but I just know it's a thing. I'm just putting it out there. Okay. Oh, okay. All I'm saying is that it's a good thing that Shirou didn't see Saber from the front. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I digress. Let us never speak of this again. When I wake up, I'm in my room. It's light outside. I guess I fell asleep after coming back to my room, unable to make a decision. That dream. It was a strange dream. Events I shouldn't know about, things I don't know about Saber. Is it possible for me to dream about them? But that sword was certainly different from the one Saber had. Yeah, I guess the real, quote-unquote, real Excalibur was an actual historical artifact wielded by the physical human being, Arturia, but, I guess as a servant, as a heroic spirit, the noble phantasm is conjured up and wielded by them. It's not like Saber's running around holding her original sword. It's like a replica. That's also the real thing? Insofar as a spirit can be real, you know what I mean. I vaguely think Saber's true identity that was hidden. To be honest, I still can't accept who she is. Oh. You know what? Maybe that choice I was so confused about, how we could wait on the streets and miss out on learning who Saber is, maybe Shirou would have this dream anyway and would learn, so it would catch up back here and unify. I'm just gonna think that's the case, for my own sanity. To be honest, I still can't accept who she is. Saber is just Saber. I can't change my attitude just because I know who she was before. I don't think Saber would want that either. But it suited her. The sword from yesterday suited her, but the sword in my dream also suited her. No, you could say I was fascinated. With yesterday's sword and the sword in my dream, it seems I fall for swords easily. I also thought Lancer's lance was beautiful when I saw it, but my interest in swords is exceptional. It seems I'm easily attracted to swords. Well, it's not like that only just started. I take a deep breath and reach up to my sweaty face. So, is Shirou attracted to Saber's sword or Saber's sword? Okay, what did I just say? No talking about it. Can't resist, though. But it sure is hot. I wipe the sweat off my forehead. Even though it's winter, my body is burning. It feels like my blood is getting hotter, and I feel restless. I wonder why. Ever since I saw Saber's sword, my body has been strangely hot. The hand that bears the command spell is hot, as if it's holding a pocket heat. Oh! Hey, remember what Shinji was saying about his command spells burning up? Huh? It's like that time Tosaka made me swallow that jewel. Like it's itchy, or it makes me want to run around. I take a deep breath to try to calm myself. I guess Saber's still asleep. Saber has not woken up even once since last night. But it still seems she is getting better. Her breathing is calm now, and there's no sign she is gasping in pain. Saber is sleeping peacefully. This is an everyday morning scene. Maybe if I let her sleep like this, she might get back to normal. Then there'll be no need to have her kill people. Then, just like now, Saber will be with me and... How selfish of me! I hit the wall. I'm so weak it makes me sick. It's my fault Saber's in this state. Who am I to say? I get up, try not to make a sound. I don't know when Saber will wake up, but I have to make a decision before she does. Tosaka must still be asleep. There's no energy in the house, and it feels like it's abandoned. No, I'm just depressed. I can't decide, so I'm wandering around in a gray state, and that causes the world to be vague. Huh? I hear something cut through the air. Again, it's from the yard, but that... I remember that sound. Yeah. I don't feel like cooking breakfast right now, so I'll take a walk and check it out. What is this? Archer? It's much colder than usual outside. It must be really cold if my burning body feels it. It's so cold that it might snow. It's from the shed area. The sound is coming periodically. I cross the yard, breathing out white puffs. He's there in front of the shed. Ha! Bingo! I guess I kind of knew he would be here, so I wasn't surprised. He must have been shooting arrows until now. He lowers his bow in displeasure as soon as he sees... He has a bow! Okay, I did not know that. I thought he was a throwing daggers kind of man. I guess the archer class really is made up of archers. Yeah. That's dangerous. Don't shoot bows in someone else's house. What are you going to do if you hit someone? I would not have to do anything as I am not using any arrows. One cannot be hit by something that is not fired. He doesn't need to tell me that. The sound was Archer's bowstring cutting through the air. I don't know why, but Archer isn't using any arrows, but only pulling his bow. Let's take a closer look at that. Oh, that's a remarkably simple design. Huh. Yeah, that's a bow, sure. I was expecting something fancier. Huh. Well, we can't really make out the fine details, but... Oh, well, there's a closer look. That's a good bow. I wasn't convinced until now, but you really are an archer. Well, I'm not an archer like the ones you know, so I would not be able to answer you even if you asked me about archery. Wait, your arrows are shot to target yourself, while my arrows are shot to hit an enemy. The archer you have in mind must be the kind that respects manners and politeness. Haha, I like this guy. He curls his lips offensively. As I thought, I can't get along with him. I don't intend to ask you about archery. I was just wondering what you were doing. As you can see, I am merely checking my condition. The wound Saber gave me has healed. I cannot stay on watch forever. Wow, it took a long time. I see. He's healed now. Then that means Tosaka should return to the war. I turn away. Since Tosaka and Archer are rejoining the battle, I must make a decision. I have to think seriously somewhere I can be alone. There is a concept called follow-through. Huh? The time you have after you take your shot. I believe that is the only thing common to your archery and mine. What? You don't have to tell me about the 8 stages of shooting. Just listen. They say the body stays there naturally after you shoot a bow. I heard that you call it follow-through. Certainly there are 8 movements in archery called the 8 stages of shooting. The last one, the follow-through, is the state that comes after shooting an arrow, but yeah, I've heard about this. It's like, experienced archers know that the arrow will hit its mark before it even lands. At the instant of release, actually. Yeah, so what about it? I am talking about your mental preparation. Follow-through is not intended to ascertain if the arrow has hit the target. An arrow has hit the target even before it is released. The archer lets the arrow go according to that image. So there is no need to check if the arrow has hit or not. Yeah, exactly. Because if you think the arrow will hit, it will hit the target. And if you do not, the arrow will not hit. That's not true. There are shots that won't hit no matter how much you think they will. Everyone would hit the target every time if all you have to do is think about hitting it. Is that so? Well, you hit the target every time. What? His statement makes my heart jump. That's certainly... Well, I do not care about that. There is only one thing I want to tell you. Follow-through is not intended to ascertain if you have hit the target or not. What happens to the released arrow is obvious. So follow-through is a preparation to accept that result, is it not? I know. So you're saying I should be able to see through this thing until the end, right? Exactly. I heard about Saber's situation. You should have known from the beginning that she would end up like this. She will disappear in time if she fights without magical energy supply. That fact was already determined, so all that's left is to accept the result. Is he saying that no matter what happens to Saber because of my decisions, all I can do is see through what happens? I turn my back to Archer. I will leave this guy once and for all. Oh, and one more thing. I will tell you since you don't seem to know. I hear a voice behind me. Saber should have known she would disappear if she used her noble phantasm. She probably did not intend to use her noble phantasm until the very end. The usual offensive tone isn't present in his voice. There is only one reason she used her noble phantasm in spite of that. She chose to protect you over her own existence. Never forget that. His voice holds only honest sincerity. Yeah, that's nice of him. I can see it. I think it's true. Well. Ooh. Whoa, where is Shirou going? Oh, great. Anyway, let's check out the status and weapon screen. Let's try weapon first. Oh, Caliburn, aka Excalibur. Yes. Golden sword of assured victory. A holy sword that symbolizes England's King of Knights, King Arthur. It is the symbol of a king pulled out from the chosen stone under the guidance of Magus Merlin. Oh, well, name drop. Yeah, that's the guy I was telling you about. It is a different sword from the one granted by the Fairy of the Lake, and its characteristics as a noble phantasm differ. But it seems Saber is more attached to this holy sword. Since a sword is a symbol of power, a sword carried by a king usually ends up being degraded to the status of an ornament covered by decorations. This is the biggest difference between Excalibur and Caliburn. In exchange for being a beautiful sword, its effectiveness as a weapon does not match that of Excalibur. Oh, okay. In the legend, it is said that it broke when King Arthur fought in a battle going against the principles of chivalry. Okay, so Excalibur was the sword in the stone, Caliburn was the sword from the lake. Right. Huh. Unidentified dagger. Oh no, that's Ryder's dagger. Right. Nothing about Archer's bow. Darn. Still think he's Chinese. Let's try status. Saber. That's just skills. Yep, true name, Arturia. I think that's gonna be the only new thing, though. Oh, yes, her legend. Excellent, okay. Let's have a read, shall we? The once and future king. England's legendary hero, King Arthur. He is a hero well known as the model for knights, but it is said that he actually did exist. The real King Arthur was called Dux Bellorum, the King of Battles, and he was a great leader who led the 12 kings of northern England, Gododin, against foreign invasions by such people as the Picts and the Scottish. The identity of the real great leader, King Arthur, has many variations, and there is even an opinion that there were two people that correspond to the king. One was a pure Briton, Arthur, the other was a Roman, Artorius. This opinion states that the legend of King Arthur that is known today is one story, merged from the accomplishments of these two. The legend of King Arthur is all too famous. The exceptional Magus Merlin prepared a sword and said, "Whoso pulleth out the sword of this stone is rightwise king of all England." When Arthur pulled out the sword, he was recognized as the king of England, and with the knights of the Round Table gathered around him, he went through many adventures. Arthur was the child of the king of Britain, Uther Pendragon, and the wife of his servant Duke Cornwall, the blue-eyed Igraine. As a price for Merlin's assistance in ensuring the success of his love for Igraine, he had to leave their child in Merlin's care. I will properly guide this child, one bearing a great destiny, and protect him from the crisis of the royal family. Merlin entrusted Arthur to Uther's loyal knight, Sir Ector, and Arthur was raised as his adopted child until the day he pulled out the chosen sword. The days of battle and troubles that followed after he pulled out the sword and became king became a great story of medieval knighthood. The great deeds of King Arthur, ruling over Camelot as the great king of knights, and saving England by leading many great men, are all one could ask from a hero. Arthur's all-too-famous sword, the holy sword Excalibur, was not the chosen sword. Rather, it was the treasured sword of fairyland given to him by the Lady of the Lake under Merlin's guidance after he lost the chosen sword. Oh, I had it completely wrong, man. After giving King Arthur the holy sword Excalibur, the fairy princess of the lake, Vivian, became his guardian. King Arthur's lifelong enemy, Princess Morgana, was in existence opposed to Arthur's guardian Vivian, but Morgana herself was also a fairy of the lake that protects the king. King Arthur ordered the Knights of the Round Table to search for the Holy Grail. Yeah, that's exactly why it's so appropriate that Saber's pretty much like the face of the franchise, you know? It couldn't have been anyone else. In the King Arthur legend, the search for the Holy Grail comprised the core episodes in the story of the Knights of the Round Table, but only 3 knights were commanded to search, and King Arthur himself did not go on the journey. Of the 3 knights, the perfect knight Lancelot did not make it to the Holy Grail due to his unfaithful flirting, and his son Galahad did obtain the Holy Grail but abandoned it due to his lack of greed. The end of the legend was marked by King Arthur's death. Arthur's life had been sought many times by the Princess Morgana, his older sister by a different father. At the end of the battle between him and the knight Mordred, born from Princess Morgana's scheme, his legend closes its curtain. King Arthur's fall started when his most trusted knight Lancelot disappeared after becoming ashamed about his affair with Arthur's wife Guinevere. Losing his trusted knight, losing the sheath of the holy sword, and even losing his own country while on a long expedition, King Arthur faced his last battle in the land of Camlan. The holy sword Excalibur was entrusted to Sir Bedivere on King Arthur's deathbed, and he returned it to the Lady of the Lake. King Arthur's corpse was carried by the Ladies of the Lake to Avalon, the land where heroes sleep. A legend is handed down that King Arthur will awaken from his sleep in Avalon when England is in peril so that he can save his homeland. Arthur bears the red dragon that symbolizes the British people, and he himself has the attributes of the dragon. Since he has the karma of the dragon, the embodiment of divine mystery and the transcendent, he has strong magical qualities. On the other hand, he is weak against heroes who have defeated dragons in the past. Good to know. So, Berserkers killed a Hydra, right? I guess assassins safe to fight. Don't recall any dragons in the story of what's his face. What was his name? Sasaki Kojiro. That dude. I don't think Cuchulainn ever fought a dragon. Though if he did, it wouldn't surprise me because Cuchulainn's such a friggin' badass. Anyway, yeah, we read this. That's fair. Okay, so, wow. Well, I'm really glad Shinji's dead. That's really good. Hot dog. But boy, Shirou's facing quite the challenge now, huh? He has to make a choice. I don't think there could be like a third option that could prevent itself. Like, unless he runs into Ilya here and she gets generous and shares some of her magical energy or whatever, but I don't know. Yeah, God, I don't know what Shirou's gonna do. He's been the anti-killing boy, and it took him a near-death experience and the near-death of everyone in his school to maybe go like, okay, yeah, maybe there are some people who should die to save others. But this is about killing innocents strictly for a selfish reason. This is like the ultimate test of character. Which, I guess, is quite fitting for one who is pursuing the Holy Grail, no? Well, Saber's cool, Fate Stay Night is cool, I can't wait to see what happens next. I'm Zephyr the Jester, this has been more Fate Stay Night, thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll catch you later, so until then, please take care.